Good afternoon, everybody. Here I am today again. Let me introduce to you Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. He is a national awardee in the year 2005 and a white and a yellow belt in Sigma 6, a certified NLP business diploma holder, an educational innovator, author with expertise in Six Sigma in education, academic audits, neurolinguistic programming, total quality management in education, and S and Kaizen. He has authored over 40 books on computer science for ICSC, CBSC, ISC students, over 10 books for academic interest for the field of educational excellence, school management, teaching excellence, and Six Sigma, a former principal at D India Public School, New Delhi, and educational officer at James Education, India, with an ample teaching experience of over 2 decades. He is a certified trainer for quality circles, TQM in education, and QCI standards of school accreditation. Six Sigma in education. He has also been honored with the President of India's National Teacher Award in the year 2005 and the Best Science Teacher Award by the Uttar Pradesh State Ministry of Science and Technology. Innovation in Education for his inception of Six Sigma in Education by Education Watch, New Delhi, and Education World Best Teacher Award. Bolt Learner Teaching Award by Air India, Innovation of Education Award 2016 by Higher Education Forum HEF Gujarat Chapter, Best Industry Aligned Research Award by Computer Society of India CSI Mumbai Chapter, among others. His name has been included in the Limca Book of Records and India Book of Records for developing over 150 apps. He has conducted over 2,000 workshops globally on excellence in education, integrated with total quality management and Six Sigma technology integration in education, that is TIE. Developing towards being rockstar teachers, including cyberspace, cybersecurity, classroom management, school leadership and management, and innovative teaching within school classrooms via mind maps, NLP, and experiential learning in academics. He is an active TEDx speaker and can be viewed on YouTube and TEDx channel. As an active Udemy premium instructor, he is imparting knowledge to over 6 lakhs enrolled students from 181 countries globally with over 200 online courses. He is a resource person for teachers training and has been conducting sessions on invites by the Ministry of Education and other bodies of Sri Lanka, Mauritius, and Qatar. Let's welcome Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. Good evening, good afternoon, sir. In fact, it's rather afternoon only. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much for this wonderful initiative and for inviting me for this great interaction. Thank you.
You're most welcome, sir. Sir, my usual question that I ask all of my speakers, what brings you into education?
Well, the very concept of learning to learn as a priority and the very initiative of that time when I joined in this profession probably was short hours of working and the engagement and the learning as was a great delight that I used to be home early. And of course, getting up early was always a delight while in the school days. So that was one of the initiatives which prompted me to be in this profession. And then after, of course, the things came up that things were good and we started loving the job of teaching. So I continued my studies and then also incorporated more opportunities to come up to that standard and started liking it. And with the march of time now, of course, I'm more like a promoter of quality education rather than just being a teacher. So I'm enjoying that in a big way.
So, we can say this is a never stopping attitude that you've adopted in imparting quality education throughout the world. Like we can say throughout the world now because you've touched the international soils as well. So, sir, in your view, what would you say regarding the current scenario that is going on? The, you can say, the online education that is being imparted from schools to homes.
Well, this is the new initiative and the only initiative with us as of now to engage our students, to make them comfortable on ground of learning as a go, and also initiate of the task of making a priority. It is, of course, a great delight anytime and every time for the students when they come up with the adoption of technology at any standards. And this is the high time for them to be connected, and maximum teachers are being rotated. They've been tutored in how to use the best of technology by their students only. So this is an upliftment not only for the students, but also for the teachers in a long way, in a big way, and they become street smart teachers, orators, communicators, and this is what the initiative is all about. So I'm actually happy that I'm able to also coach some of the teachers online on a periodic basis now, and that has given a new dimension of learning outcome among themselves.
Right. So, sir, how will you activate the new normal? How is this going to activate the new normal? Because I was just reading through, somebody had sent me a clip of a newspaper wherein the clip says that from July onwards, 9th, 10th, 11th, sorry, 9th, 10th, and 11th, or 10th, 11th, 12th are going to function. Like, how is it going to activate the new normal?
Well, I believe and expect that the original normal be back rather than the new normal. Everyone demands of our original normal only. But
Exactly.
till the time being, we need to practice what we have been practicing, taking care, and that is what is the initiative. It is going to be adopted by the schools. And just now we have got the news that CBSE has cancelled the 10th and the 12th exams. So probably looking at the seriousness now, we have to take new decisions, new strategies need to be developed, and what and how about the education standard is going to be initiated in schools, and what will be the new duties and the assignments for both the stakeholders, particularly the teachers, the parents, and the students. And even this would also give birth to the admissions of the of 10 plus 2, the competitions. So how and what way they're going to be conducted when the boards are not ready for writing exams. So in what way they will be conducting the entrance exam, it's going to be a great concern. So it is all about brainstorming, getting up good ideas, strategies, formation, and I believe NCRT has also come up with the new preface for the new standard of education, delivery of content, and the division of the syllabus, keeping the fact of the COVID-19 post-learning outcome and the post-learning scenario. So I think brainstorming is being done, and it is high time for all of us also to initiate whatever the changes come and be adopted to the best of the children. So that is the initiation.
So, coming to syllabus point, we have been hearing lots and lots of news that the syllabus is going to be cut short. It's going to because we will be starting the session quite late. Right. Normally we start in April. Now we will be starting either in August or September or whatever it is. So, how would you What would you suggest? According to your knowledge and your expertise, what would be the proper percentage of syllabus that is going to be implemented for the coming session
Well,
2021?
yeah, as per the guidelines only, I just evaluated as you have read in the paper. So I did about the initiation of they are going to reduce the percentage of the syllabus by 30%, and because we have lost around 3 months of
Exactly.
delivery. So this is what is the aspect, and looking at, we cannot just be concluding of the fact, because with every individual you come out with a new solution and new strategies. It's the government who has to take the action. Like they are also doing all the experiments and all the initiatives. And when the parent goes to the court and then they have to change their decisions, like today, scrapping off the 10s and the 12s, so probably the other boards will follow. And when the universities will follow the online examination system, will be the new normal, as you rightly said. So that is what is the initiative is all about, and it is just going to change the whole of the learning scenario. And it has changed over the years. Now it is that how best we are able to cope up with the assessment part also, because learning, too much of learning. But what about assessment? What is the learning outcome? So that is what is regarded as to be measured, both from the teacher's point of view and the learner's point of view, whether the teachers are able to deliver, or it is just a formality for them, or the students are sleeping with their eyes open and observing the lessons as a part of listening to a story about there was a king and there was a queen. So I think it is high time for all of us, the decision makers, the heads of the schools, to come up together and analyze what is the assessment of learning, what way the teachers are equipping themselves. See, every second day there's a change of the platform of learning. People say, don't use this platform, this is better, now this is better. And then they're signing up with some new vendor. So that experiment is also going on. The vendor is delivering the training just to, get the product sold. So it's all, in vacuum, as if, so I think it is high time for the government also to initiate one particular platform for a particular board of schools, or recommend some of the platforms which is at ease, and like the one we are using right now is again a good platform which can be utilized to the formation. And I just can't name XYZ of them, but certainly it has to be comfortable from all the ends, so that teachers are able to interact with the students the best way possible. And also at the same time, the children should be able to conduct some form of an interaction. They should be able to given the opportunity to share their ideas where others can also view, and it should be like an open classroom. So probably we have to overcome these limitations to make the learning go the right way.
So, like you mentioned, that during the online classes, the students either are sleeping or they don't want to answer. Like, because, like, when they are online, why do you think they don't revert back to online lessons?
See, they are online, but they may be offline. There are ways and means to be online, right? So online is just a physical format, and then of course the connect has to be there. You need to have maximum devices with you. How you can be limited to them? How you make sure that the child has come up, he's active, he is online, and he's online doesn't mean he's active or engaged. It is the similar thing in the classroom also. In a physical classroom, children may be sleeping with their eyes open, and they do so when the teacher is boring. They look here and there. There's lot many distractions in the classroom. And here in the virtual room, we can't even see the distractions going on. They can just mute themselves, or if you force a bit, they will unmute. You'll force a bit, they will just play the video. And then, of course, they will be just sitting, moving here and there, observing you. But when they have not been given the task to speak or the opportunity to speak, so there are various forms. So I have a little presentation with me, which I will showcase as how to be best at online format and make the delivery a wow spectrum. So I will take your permission to share the screen.
Definitely, sir, please.
Yeah, please. So we can go ahead with a better format of learning. Yes. Okay. So I'm playing my video, the PPT, which says about the talk series. So thank you very much for taking this wonderful initiative. And
My pleasure.
the topic today,
It's always been
topic
a pleasure to interact with you because I learn a
thank you.
lot from you.
Okay, ma'am. So tackling the current situation in academic delivery within schools, of course, for us, teaching is a passion. Teaching is preaching, and it is one of the godly affairs. And teachers are no less than semi-gods. And above all, they are supposed to be most trusted professionals in the world. And if you Google, you'll come to know that next comes the nursing. So that's profession which is supposed to be most trusted, needs to be engaging, and online teaching has to have a priority of being engaging. And of course, as Christina Torres, one of the teachers from Hawaii, rightly says that no one could have anticipated what we are going through right now. Friend, I never imagined I would be giving a video lecture, and I never expected to be kicked off my own WebEx 3 times in a single day. Now, WebEx is another such platform like that of the one we are using here. And but if recent weeks have taught me anything, it is what we teachers are built for challenges like these. So this is like overcoming the scenario of a virtual environment. Good technology integration isn't about facing or using the fanciest tool. It's about being aware of the range of options and the picking the right strategy or the strategies for the lesson at hand. And that is what is the approach we, the teachers, need to look forward to. Above all, teachers can think about using a learning environment like that of Google Classroom, Moodle, Schoology, Canvas to handle the logistic aspects of running a classroom, like tracking grades, messaging students, creating a calendar, and posting assignments. So damn easy. But the fact is that, according to a company, it says digital literacy is separate from computer literacy. It requires critical thinking skills and awareness of the necessary standards of behavior expected in online environments, and an understanding of the shared social issues created by the digital technology itself. Or alternatively, we can say that digital literacy is equal to digital tool knowledge plus critical thinking plus the social engagement. And that is what is the digital literacy all about. It's not about programming in Java or C++ or COBOL. It is actually how you utilize the power of the digital tools, how you critically think over it, how you're going to engage your commitment, your staff, your delivery, your decision making with the social engagement. And that is what is the capsule we are relating through this C's talk series. Of course, Zoom's text chat feature, meanwhile, gives students an opportunity to write their questions out that they can feel less intrusive if there are dozens of students participating in the call. So every platform talks about a scenario. And above all, technology allows us to document components of the learning experience for reflection and analysis using various forms of media. And that is what we call it multimedia, combination of audio, video, and text. And that relates. So for every teacher out there who is engaged here in this interaction, I would request all of you to try to engage the combinational media. Don't be limited to your PPT. Rather than engage some of your videos, you can club it, link it, hypertext it in the form so that they bring delight to their classroom learning. You can even engage. You can engage some podcasts, some audio files, some format of combination of audio, video, and text. Even photography has that liberty. And then, of course, one of the slides which measures the learning outcome and comes out as a reality is that this virtual teaching will never replace the love, the laughs, the wow element in the classroom, the learning, the smiles on the students' faces, and the wow moments, the aha moments that happen in actual classroom. You know, ma'am, this is already in the book. Tell us something new. These types of initiatives, you know, I'm not talking, I'm discussing, all that stuff. So that quarantine isn't a break for teachers, it's a hard break, in fact. And that is what we look forward to with that essence of learning. And then the best of the platforms available today, we are all well versed. Every teacher knows at least, you know, 5 to 6 of the platforms. So I'll not march on that. But of course, there is a Google Hangout, there is a Google Meet, formerly known as Hangouts Meet. And then, of course, the Zoom with 100 caller cap. And then as an add-on, we also have Stack, Skype, Hangouts, FaceTime, WebEx, and other apps, the one we are using right now, including that of Microsoft Teams. And that goes with the very inception of how best I'm engaging my students. Now that engagement is equally important. How best, and above all, the wow element will come only in your virtual classroom when you're well dressed. It cannot be in your Sunday pajamas that you sit and you just listen to the students with your video off. It has to be a delight only when you have, you know, a proper presentation format of yours. You need to get properly dressed, look like a professional, and think of what you'll wear if this was in your in college teaching or the school. Enjoy the fact that your students won't see what you're wearing, vest down, of course, and stay in your comfortable bottoms and slippers if you feel like. So that's the liberty, that's the pride we need to encounter and practice. And then, above all, as we adjust to new technologies and teaching, we can tap into our own one kind teacher skill, that is accept the hiccups along the way. Of course, many of the teachers are going through about the usage of the technology, of what will happen if the net breaks down, or there's a load shedding there, or my system gets rebooted, or all that stuff. So you need to learn with the march of time. And for any effective online teaching also, you need to practice experiential learning, that the technology should be utilized in a responsible and a critically aware manner, both for the students and for the teachers at large. And when you love your class, your students just know it. And remember, even in the online class, the children will only like the subject if they like the teachers. So that is what is the happiness and the mindfulness we need to derive out of that very casting of learning. If you want learning to be practiced, you need to initiate yourself to setting up an e-agenda. I know there are teachers who are practicing e-timetable to the best of the format, but also you need to stick to that agenda of your e-timetable, share the learning outcome which they are going to go through, and share the objective, the talking points, and the outcome of the teaching at least a day before, so that children know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. And this way, the students will be able to prepare and even ask the right questions. And if there are things, they will still unclear to them. So that is the objective. And we need to learn how to make the best use of the tool, the platform. And you can see in this picture how the grandfather is assisting the girl about, or either way, the grandfather is getting assisted out of that experiential learning tool. And that approach has to be, and then stick to the allotted time, be mindful of everyone's schedule, preparing an agenda easily, fulfilling this objective as well. So that objective has to come up with catering of the new generation through a journey towards street smart teaching, an active format of street smart teaching, because the children are Googlers, they are Google based learners. So even they might look for a substitute of Google in you looking forward. So we need to be very, very prepared for, of course, we need to welcome with delight, thank them for their participation in every format. And also, while we are teaching online, it is our responsibility to be ready. The preparedness is very much required. My device is working, I can send my invites, it's all done, the power backup is fine. And what will happen if there is a load shedding, whether my Wi-Fi will be active, or I switch to my podcast mode, or to my hotspot format, or any format. So you need to look for option A, option B, or option C, because you just have 40 minutes with you for a normal classroom, right? And that normal classroom of 40 to 45 minutes, you need to engage, you need to talk about yesterday's session, you need to talk about how the things are, and you need to also talk about your online teaching app loading well. Look out for the options, the data ready. At times you have a limitation of data also, so probably you need to check on that. Deal with the discipline issues also. They can be by using personal phone calls, on one-on-one you can make use of. And also check out that you practice as a teacher while you're teaching online. Praise them in public and criticize them in private. You just can't be speaking about Amit, Sumit, and Gautam that you all are stupid, you don't study, you don't come online. So you just cannot be doing this, because if you do so, you lose them forever, right? If you want to, tell them about these things, please make sure that you go one-on-one, right? And then, of course, as we all practice improvement, the Kaizen, the Japanese concept of continuous development, has to be the successful plan, the aim for success in any of our sessions, classroom interactions. And we need to look forward to that we bring delight to the learning and to the audience, the students, in a big way. Assure your mute microphone when it's not your turn to talk. Even if you're a teacher, you need to give respect to the others. The honor being online, let others share about it probably and conduct. And please make sure that choose the words you say to yourself wisely. They are creating your reality. And use polite, respectful language and eye contact while on the camera, and even if not on the camera. You need to be presentable, wearing a smile all the time. So that webinar doesn't mean it is an identity in isolation. It is very much in your presence. And then above all, students like the subject only when they like the teachers. So make it a habit of being a teacher. You need not deny your child's perception. You need not dispute their feelings. You need not disown their wishes. You need not deride their taste and denigrate their opinion. Also, derogate their character and argue with their experience. Please, instead, learn to acknowledge them. Acknowledge them with their preface and include everyone. Encourage questions which 90% of the students can answer. And that is how you gather engagement in your virtual and your physical classrooms. And also try to be friendly but firm. And all exits from the online classroom must be acknowledged with a valid reason. And the permission to late joining must be mentioned as warnings. So you can easily kick them out from the chat room or the class if they are not serious. And you have to address them of how they are going to present their assignments. You need to check on, because this is the time what the teachers have to undergo. Let me tell you, teachers are undergoing at least the commitment of 2 to 3 hours every day for a presentation, for modulation. See what all the other thing I was just reading, the teachers have invested, 30,000 rupees for buying a laptop. Teachers have even invested to buy a tablet or probably a writing pen or something like that. They are investing on themselves in order to deliver their job the best way possible, because even they don't have any option. If they want to earn their bread and butter, they have to invest on this quality format. So this is what is all about, an initiation. And then of course ask the students in advance for ideas, suggestions, and about the session expectations. As needs to hear, of course everyone needs to hear about I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I'm listening, you have got what it takes. So this is how you can motivate the students and provide your full attention. Be present throughout the teaching session. Try not to visit other websites or chat window or even take a call. Please stay muted on that ground also. And because you're committing your 40 minutes, if had been in the classroom, you would never dare to move around also out of the class. So stay seated and give your full focus on the agenda and to your teammates moderating the meeting. It should not be at ease, but with perfection. And then also praise your students in public and criticize them only in private through personal interactions on invite. Even this is one of the policies to be practiced when being online. And then don't accept leverage on late connections. Assure everyone signs in 10 minutes prior for brainstorming for something, some chit chat, some brainstorming, some ways of format. And then, of course, organize a routine in timetable to teach. Don't plan when online. So please go with your planning, execute that planning, let the children know about it. This is one of the real pictures I've adopted from one of the tweets by Mr. Kejriwal, and he had posted some of the pictures. So that initiation goes with the very variation of learning. See how the children are committing themselves to the best of learning format in Go. And then don't ever do over talking, right? Please make sure that some teachers have a habit of only talking. So it cannot be, all the time. You need to deliver also. Children don't have that exercising powers with them also to say that anything or any comments, right? They just can't go and take permission of going to the washroom, even if they are getting bored or things like that. So we need to initiate that learning and don't go ahead without a feedback. Always look out for a feedback when you're teaching online. Please make sure that you deliver the learning outcome, note all the queries, deliver the feedback or the attendance Google Sheet or Google Form during your presentation itself so that the children can fill in. And of course, don't be limited in the variety in your content, right? So make sure that you're using one platform, use the other platform the other time. Tomorrow we'll be meeting on this platform. Day after you met on this platform. You can share it in this way. You can test run it and then you can play it. That is how children will be excited. You need to dwell that excitement also. And do not just teach to pass the time, right? Share the learning outcome and believe that learning will only happen when we deliver. It will not come on its own. And do share the list for daily, weekly, and monthly tasks through the PDF file so that the children are able to manipulate the learning, and don't set your rules and expectations ahead of your sessions. That is a initiative which you need to conduct. And also do ask the students in advance for the ideas, the suggestions about the session, expectations, like what way they want to learn, which way they want to learn, and what they want to learn. Because it is high time, they are already learning, and for them the classroom is 24/7. For the class, for them the classroom is www, which is whatever, whenever, wherever, at that length, that scope only, that initiation is going on. And do not use unpolite or unrespectful language, and do not avoid any eye contact while on the camera. And that initiation goes with the very priority of wearing a smile all the time, even if you're not on the camera. So make sure that you, while speaking also, you can make out that the person is smiling or he's just, getting irritated. So start each lesson with a chat and that continuation of chat, and do welcome your students at all times and thank them for their patience and the participation. First time, every time, for that periodic narration to happen. And that will only come up with assuring a dress code. Even a college uniform is not a bad idea. Even, schools are following while they are there online. They are asking the students to come in their school uniform. At least, the shirt and the tie. That's the best format. So they are committing themselves ethically and even psychologically. So do mute all your phone's devices and both ends, including the notifications, and come up with the priority that you practice critical thinking, practice creativity, the communication, the collaboration, and the character building. Above all, that sharing of news stories, the storytelling format with the happiness curriculum is equally important. You need to conduct that dose of happiness, because this is the high time where you need to be a counselor also. You need to be a mother also. You need to be a friend also. You need to be a guide also. So please look out for the good, wonderful quotations you have been getting through WhatsApp university, so that data you can share it right while you're teaching online to make it a dose for the students at ease. And then, of course, do assure active participation through raise your hand options of the platforms available. I think every platform has that significant format of learning. And do share an example for the behavior that you expect from your students. I mean, we both need to be delivering the same productivity on the go, and get to know about your students on a personal level. That preference has to come up. You may be required to call 20 students or 30 students every second day, talk to their parents, because even you can hold a class-wise Zoom meeting with the parents. Why not? And talk to them, listen to them, what way the child is learning, what is his learning practice. And you can do so by connecting one-on-one, even on social media or on a simple WhatsApp call, or the way you can, right? And that initiation also goes by establishing a routine, welcome, teaching, assignment, sharing, curation, and developing a feedback in that mechanism as well. And get to know about your students on a personal level. That's equally important. And coming up with the priority of setting an example. We have already covered this. And that assurance of format, and coming up to that very initiation of learning and the spectrum, right? And then, of course, we have a scenario of making a preference on ground. And when I relate on that initiation, I also come up to that very standardized form, which I wanted to share as one of the applicable formats, that you need to promote the student connect, the participation, creating a student's voice, allowing them to decide how to share and what they know, and even acknowledge their presence at all times has to be a priority. And one very fine thing which I wanted to share for all the teachers is that you can use this website, particularly instructables.com. Now, this particular website initiates learning with projects, online projects. And let me tell you, I have shared it with over hundreds of teachers now in the march of maybe a month, and everyone is praising it like anything. So please make sure that utilize this platform, instructables.com. This is where you teach your students to create and innovate, and it covers maximum of your subjects. So that is through this channel, this platform, through C's Talk platform. I would like to share this. Instructables is a website which is a community for people who like to make things. Come and explore, share, and make your next project with us. So it's a wonderful platform, and you can always tell your children to go through it. It allows step by step, easy to learn how to make everything, anything, in fact, one step at a time, from the stove top to the workshop. You're sure to be inspired by the awesome projects that they are sharing every day, made by you in a healthy place. It is created by you in the sense like no matter who you are, we all have secret skills to share. Come join our community of curious makers, innovators, teachers, and lifelong learners who love to share what they make. It's a happy place which allows making of things, making people happy, and it says we can't prove it, but we know it is true. Find your happy place and join one of the friendliest online communities anywhere. Some of the wonderful projects available here, like Open Laser Blaster, the ultimate binary watch, the time measure, the keyboard cap macro watercolor bots. Then do it yourself easy live edge decks, 3D printed spinning percentile dice. One very fascinating thing which I got to know about was the Alexa controlled bookshelf lightning. And when I click on this, I get the information, and there's a video which says about what it is and how to go about. Hello, in this video, I'll be showing you how to build a bookshelf having a unique staggered shelf design with soothing diffuse warm white LED lighting, which can be controlled using Amazon Alexa. Alexa, turn on bookshelf. Okay, this is just an initiation about the format which goes innovative with students under the direction of teachers they can initiate. And then there's the end of my presentation. I also discuss some of the links which every teacher, every individual, even students need to know about. That's the bit.ly.com, which allows you to create short web links for any sharing which you do. So it converts it into short notation, and also gives you an analytical format where you can trace how many of them, shared or went to this link. And then, of course, there is another one, which is the Simbalu.com, wherein you're able to get all your websites on the screen with one click. And that goes like this standard, the screen you can see in front. So it's more like visiting to get to know more. And then you have an improvement writing citation skills using online resources is through the Purdue Writing Lab that you can visit as well. And then finally, there is a website which talks about edutopia.org, which is a wonderful platform for the teachers to innovate teaching, online teaching, physical teaching, and engaging with the students and the parents. So make sure that all the teachers who are watching can initiate the task of going through this. It has wonderful tutorials, videos. Edutopia is one such wonderful platform by George Lucas Educational Foundation. It's a technology integration platform which allows a powerful model for understanding good tech integration with various topics. It allows great articles and, of course, videos on learning about how to teach, how to explore the best of integration within classrooms. And at the very time, it allows you, the teachers, to share your own ideas. There are topics wherein, for example, we have teacher development, so 5 ways to obtain the PDPs during pandemic. So of course, innovating without abandoning what works, collaboration, collective inquiry, the power of being seen, homework, how much is too much, somewhat like, wonderful ideas. And then, of course, you have videos, and you can. So this way, the teachers can initiate a best way of format of interaction. And then when the assessment, I was talking about the assessment of students. So there is a website by the name of testmos.com. Now this testmos.com is a wonderful platform for the students to utilize their learning skills, and teachers can make variety of questions including the multiple type, the true and false, the fill in the blank, and the easygoing format of various pools of question banks. And they can be used on mobile phones, tablets, and desktop computers, even with low bandwidth connections. So this is something great, and teachers can adopt this platform as a part of assessment. And then as an add-on, there is an implication that you need to learn how to wrap up your class also. So a list of important notes need to be delivered, and clear action plan has to be delivered for the next class, with productive online teaching session to go, with the learning outcome to be shared as well. So this is the format which relates on ground of learning. And if in case you people are keen, you can always go ahead with my Udemy course, which is how to be an effective online teacher. It's available on Udemy, and you can reflect. And these are some of my books which teachers can make use of, available on Amazon, on ground of learning to learn as a priority. And that is all from my end. Now I move to the interactive mode with you to initiate learning. And if in case we have some questions in the live chat window, we can always take that forward.
Definitely, definitely, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful and amazing experience that we shared. And in fact, I have also learned a lot, like I have my son who's a teenager, and I can involve him in a lot of things. Though he's quite
Yeah, right.
involved, you know how he's been involving himself. But yes,
Yes.
sir, right now we have been talking about interaction through our online teaching, how we
Right.
can involve and like get our kids students involved with us and we get involved with them. What about once the schools reopen, how can the teachers in the practical classes classrooms, how can they make their lessons interactive, engaging, so that the kids don't get bored and they don't run away from the class, they don't say, oh god, again ma'am is here. So,
See,
like what we've been talking in our earlier talks also, that we need to get involved with the kids. So, how and what should the teachers do so that the lessons become more and more interesting every time they enter the class?
right. See, the first part is we cannot be leaving the technology as it is. We all have technology in our classrooms, and the spectrum has been delivered. So we as teachers need to reflect on learning with the very preface of initiating how much engaging my content is, how much I'm utilizing the power of technology, because technology has already come in the classroom in a big way. And above all, the 24/7 connection has also liberated. And let me tell you, as a matter of fact, that this very pandemic has given teachers the new spectrum to develop their new strategies of offline teaching also. Even in the physical classroom, they are going to be narrating their experiences in a big way. It has been a great real life experience in the classroom virtually for them to integrate. And even for the children now, they will be used to of this format. As people say that while lockdown began, they used to say and communicate, even the experts said that if you practice something for 3 months, that becomes your habit,
Habit.
right? So if you're practicing online learning, that
Like
will become your habit.
normally it's 21 days, but now it's been
Uh,
more. I think it's been almost 3 months, and I don't know how
I
long it's
know.
going to continue.
Yes. So that is what is the preface all about. That now we need to be setting up our own standards and our own habits in a format wherein we come up with a new conclusion of what and why and how about. Maybe that the teachers are told to sit in the staff room and use the online learning format just to avoid, all types of what we are actually thinking about, what will happen when the children will come. So maybe that the teachers are required to come to school, but the children may be at home and they can be glued to their screens, teaching and all that job. And maybe just for the assessment part, they might come to school. You
I
don't know,
think
like how best the
what I
security.
personally exactly what
Yeah.
I personally feel is now like teaching is going to be more interesting and more innovative with lots and lots of ideas. No excuses from students. Ma'am, we were not well. We were not this. Okay, we've sent it. Okay,
Yeah.
now you can do it. So that way also it's going to be productive for teachers, and yes, definitely for students also. Those students who do not come to school due to some other reason, the lessons, if the schools permit, the teachers teaching in the classes can record their lessons and send it across their WhatsApp, because now they've
Yes.
got experience to it.
So that is what is the street smartness. The new strategies need to be followed by the teachers to deliver that capsule in the classroom, maybe virtual, maybe streamlined, or maybe the webinars and the seminars and all that stuff will continue. But the physical, of course, they will be missing out, the classroom. So we need to reorient ourselves, how best we are going to be locating ourselves in the school when we reopen, and how we are going to be taking part of it, because it's a great loss to the nation, loss to the world, and loss to all of us. But we need to stick to this scenario, convert this challenge as an opportunity to come out as a winner. So that has to be the initiative. The productivity is that how we come out of this particular scenario and be a winner of all the time. And of course, it becomes a yesterday's story to tell and to recite as a form of a story for the next generation to come. So that is what is the reflection we are looking forward. And I'm very sure the session like these will certainly bring up that awareness, that new spectrum and the new guidelines to follow will come out as a priority in a big way. But there is
Definitely.
certainly going to be a great challenge. Certainly, the challenges are,
In fact, a challenge which all of us have to face all together. Like it's not that
yes, very
only parents will be facing or teachers will be facing or the students will be facing. That is what, again, it says my same words. All of us need to come on the same platform for the overall development of our children. This is like I
that,
have also discussed with you many a times that yes,
yeah.
we need to bring that change. Maybe God has brought that change himself. Like he said, okay, now fine, everybody is just running apart. Let me bring all of you together on the same
Yeah,
platform.
for sure, for sure.
So,
For
in layman language, that is. So, sir,
sure.
I have a question. Like, what strategies need to be followed to explore productivity in teaching? Like, how can the teaching be productive for the teachers and the students as well?
Well, as being a teacher trainer myself, and of course an author, so I always turn to believe in learning to learn as a hobby rather than an occasional occurrence. And of course, the similar thing goes with the teachers also. That if they want to excel, if they want to convert themselves to be a rock star teachers are not born or made; they are self-made, and they need to have something in your bucket list. Something that I have to do this, I have to do this, and everything what is there in your bucket list should be, taken out during this pandemic era and being practiced. If you want to play a guitar, do that. Sing a song, do that. Write a book, do that. Write an article, publish a particular book, do that. That initiation has to come up someday at least. So that is what is the priority, and for them, the teachers to enrich themselves Learning should be a hobby rather than an occasional occurrence. Because the more you learn, the more you earn in terms of honor, recognition, and pride. And that is what I've been repeating every time I conduct a session or a workshop or a webinar. I always pay emphasis on the very scenario of learning to learn. And that is what also I talked about in my TED talk, which was at Wipro headquarters at Bangalore around 2 years back. And that is where I believed that learning should be a priority for each one of us. And it is all because of our learning, our knowledge, that we are respected, we are regarded, we are given the preference, and we are there at our job arena is because of the knowledge we have. And we get promotions because of the knowledge, not by the experience. With the much of experience, I may be saying that I'm teaching for the last 20 years. But if I'm teaching the same thing, A for apple, B for boy, and C for cat, it's not the right thing. It should be actually now the new dose of A for Android, B for BlackBerry, and C for cloud. And that is what is the definition of the new age requirement. And I call it the teachers not to be hard workers, but also smart
Be smart.
workers. And this is the high time they need to be street smart workers. They need to be talking about what's going on in the market, in the demand, what children demand, what the Google generation demand. Like, for example, there can be an ice cream sandwich. I say, I'm going to have an ice cream sandwich. For me, ice cream sandwich is a sandwich placed inside, uh, a biscuit or a chocolate or something. But for the today's generation, it is one of the versions of the operating system of Android phone. So that is where the digital divide is already there. And we need to equip ourselves to that learning, that preface of vocabulary. And that is where we learn about our survival. Being fit and getting survived is because of the new knowledge, the new spectrum, the new delivery, and the new strategies to follow. And there, I just had recently, in the morning only, I had an artificial intelligence festival on my page, Rockstar Teachers,
Yeah.
on
Yes.
Facebook. There were around 3,000 people who watched it
I
altogether.
tried getting in, but I couldn't get in.
Okay. So with that prior, you can always watch it offline. So it's already there. So on Rockstar Teachers. So that approach is because people are looking forward to know what's new in the market and what way they can imbibe themselves to enrich their vocabulary so that when they're discussing on a platform like this, I have some vocabulary to share with you so that you can make it fertilized, you can make it a better one. And of course, the scenario has to be what I was yesterday and what I am today and what I'm going to be tomorrow. So that's the betterment of you. And that is what is the Kaizen, I believe, in the Japanese culture, which explores continuous development, right? So what I am today, I be better tomorrow and be better than the better day after. So that is the approach, because you as an individual, you need to work out on your skills and you're known by your skills. And as a teacher, you just can't be what you were 10 years back, right? You may be PhD, but that PhD is different. That data is different. Now the data has enriched itself in a various form, with the march of time. So that is what is the reflection we need to eye at. And as a teacher, even I believe that the more we are after the knowledge, the more we are enriching day by day, the more we are able to satisfy our students' queries, questions, and to the perfection of their presence in the classroom. The wow element will only come when we are talking about what they want. It should not be what I know. It should not be, it should be actually what they want to know. Right? So all the exercise, all the hard work will only come in action only when there is a wow element in the classroom. So that's all from my end. Thank you.
So, last question.
Yeah.
How do you think is going to be the new normal? Like, how is it going to be? Because
Well, as I said,
everybody, even parents, teachers, students, new normal, ma'am, this is going to be new. How will it be possible?
I think, let's talk about original normal. As I
I
said,
think original
the
normal will
original
be the
normal,
best thing.
yeah, or new normal will be better than the original normal, of course,
Exactly,
with
exactly.
everyone coming together, being aware of how to
Correct.
take care of themselves. And let me tell you that even we have learned a lot about how to take care of ourselves because of this pandemic, right? So that has given us a new exercise. The as parents, we have been telling, and our parents told us not to do this, not to do this. The doctors told us not to do this. But now it has become a part of our lives. Like even my children, they do yoga every day, half an hour, 40 minutes. They go for, all that diet control and everything because of the fear factor also. But that fear factor has come out as a good narration to all of us, giving us that fertilized format of living. And that will become a practice. So, of course, the new standard has become a new original normal as I add on to it. And that preface will always be there as a good practice for all of us. So, when we do some good practice, we always come out as a better winner. And winning has to be a habit rather than an occasional occurrence. So,
Right.
of course, with the new normal, as you're talking, we need to be a better learner. We need to explore the power of technology. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to, have disciplined life, not to eat outside so very often. Of course, Dehradun is a good place to have great
Sir,
joints and places. Yeah,
nobody is
but
going out. Nobody is
I know
going out.
there's
Yes.
nobody's going out,
In fact,
but we were in a
we
habit. I
mothers,
think
we
all that
mothers,
Swiggy and
we
yeah, the
mothers
Swiggy and the
are
Zomato and all
becoming
that.
the restaurant cooks,
I know,
and they are
I
doing
know.
everything. Sir,
Yes, we've got an
you being a parenting expert, after this, I'm not going to ask you any questions because I know there is
nobody.
something else lined up for you. You being a parenting expert, what is the takeaway for parents during pandemic?
Well, first of all, as a parent, I think every parent got a delight being with the family for 24/7 and being, of course, I've been telling in my parenting sessions that have a one meal at least together with the family and pray with the family together. So, to be together, right? So that has come in action now. And they're so very happy, so very excited. I think every member in the family has cooked one meal at least, of independent. And they have learned about how to groom the house, how to clean the utensils and other stuff. They have learned about it as a practice, keeping the fact that it has given them an opportunity, right? Even I have learned so many of those activities, and I practice it even today, right? Because that has even taught us that this is how the skills. It's a form of a life skill, and then we need to learn how to practice it also. So it has been a great time for all the parents, I'm very sure. But we need to learn to respect each other. We need to learn to make sure, because these days the kids are no longer kids, they are young adults. And
Exactly.
technology has made them young adults before age because of the power. So you always meet, like when I sit across the table and even I watch channels or TV channels or the shows, I have a different demand. They have a different demand. Even if it is with Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hotstar, the demand is that every time I see the browsing history changes. So that demand will never be met. I can ask them to see Mahabharat, Ramayana, or other stuff, but they will have their own choice. And even they guide us that this is a good movie, you watch. This is a good serial, you should watch and you will like it. So that is what is the preference or the recommendation we get. And we need to obey them also, because if you want that, yes, they should listen to us. I think we should listen to them also. And that is always a prized moment for the family members. So request to all the parents, obey to their say as well. At time we need to learn how to respect them, respect their say, respect their commitments, and whatever they are doing. I think it is high time for all parents to come up to standards of practicing quality habits, quality format, and the quality spectrum has come up with the new preface of being a modern parent. And this pandemic, of course, has come up with a great narration and an opportunity for all of us to be together. And this has come out as a great challenge. And we all
Yes.
together have to convert it as an opportunity of a lifetime, because never ever, like I imagined that I'll be there with my daughter for 4 months together, because she's doing her post graduation in
You hardly
Bangalore, and
get time to be at home. You
yeah,
hardly
so
get
it's
to be at home.
yeah, it's great joy, that you're together. And of course the learning is going on, their classes are on, and even then, the togetherness, like evening meal she will make, or some commitments are there, that she will do, and it's joy. It's joy. So that's what I'm saying. That it's a great moment for all of us. We need to learn to discipline the habits of each other and try to understand each other. And there's everyone has some strengths and some weaknesses. So that is the high time for all of us to explore that opportune moment and come as a winner. So that is a reflection, I'll say, as a parent coach. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It has
My
always been
pleasure.
a pleasure having you on my platform, and I will always request you to be available for my platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're doing a wonderful job. God bless
Thank you.
you, and God bless all who are
It's all
watching
your
us. Thank
guidance.
you very
It's all
much.
your guidance. You have really guided me through a lot of things.
Right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
So here we end our session today, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we will have Miss Virle Ponet, from an educational neuroscience specialist, a language expert from the island of Tenerife, Spain. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.